Should be there, right? Did you see it? Okay. So let me move this over so my head is still here. I think I prepared this sort of trying to connect with you two guys. So you see the first title line is the new Trinities of our time. And at least I'm going to talk about the two trinities here. Number one is this matter energy information that you already made your effort. But relevant to our current Oxford project, which is developing the curriculum for younger generation, I promote to have another Trinity triangle, Systems-Cybernetics and Informatics need to be treated together. So because all of them share same target of understanding complexity. So my slogan is the complexity conquerors of the world unite. Let's do things together. Now first, a quick conceptual system or logic chain of rationality about why do we fail? Or why do we sometimes fail? And why do somebody always fail? And when I say fail, I say the acting people. And so we use our hand to actually doing something which ended up not successful. So that's a gap between what we expect and what we get from the reality that you guys highlighted already. So the logic chain goes like failure equals a lack of knowledge. And a lack of knowledge needs error correction, which cyberneticians call feedback. Now, the error correction has at least two layers. First is that you used to have a standard, you sort of diverged from the standard, so you should go back. It's like a thermostat controlling the temperature of our rooms. But the second type is the questioning assumptions. So it's so-called second loop learning. So is my perception of the situation correct? Is my failure might be due to I got some wrong assumption, which is not true. So questioning have a premise, which is you need to recognize and acknowledge our fallibility. And fallibility here means there is no absolute truth. So even if you got enough information, enough virtue, you may still not getting the so-called absolute truth. And the truth exists relative to specific problems. So each specific problem, you can find the truth for that problem instead of universal absolute. Okay, so problems are endless, and you always have new problems ever emerging. And we call information that can solve problems knowledge. And you can say that energy that solves the problem is knowledge, just maybe power. But whatever, you see what I mean here. So knowledge equals a temporary explanation for the time being, because the whole science is to keep renewing the old knowledge. Some knowledge worked in the past days, but not today, so they need to refresh. So coming back to this Trinity idea, time to assemble three armies into one. Number one is Beta-Lanfe's general system theory that grows and grows and grows and become the system science group, or people call that field systemics. The second army is initialized, maybe we can say Nobel winner, but people will say somebody else, like McCulloch or even Walter Cannon, and a lot of good candidates here, but let's use Wiener because his book's name, Cybernetics, and developed today into the cybernetics science group. There are several of them, ASC, WASC, and I think 3 or 5 of them. But since you guys emphasize information, Shannon started this whole thing called the information theory. And then today, they are actually more active, more powerful in application field, and they call themselves informatics. So Beta-Lanfe, Wiener, Shannon, the 3 guys leading to 3 big groups, and now all more or less separated. So my calling is it's time to unify them. So yesterday I did an experiment with my Robert AI. I asked the Robert to do some comprehensive search and research for the 3 fields: informatics, systemics, cybernetics. And these 2 tables are the final run that it generated for me, which I think is pretty satisfying. They highlighted the interesting shared core of concepts and also pointing out the differences of the focuses of these 3 fields. So I propose to call these 3 things together. Use a label SCI. Because in Esperanto, the SCI stias means to understand as well. So we can redefine the word science. A lot of people have objections to science or they dislike science. But anyway, a small portion of the human population has to learn and progress science. So redefine science as a system thinking, cybernetic structuring, informatic computing, and then experimenting, naming, which means doing hypothesis, and communicate, converse, consensus, coordination, creation. This defines what I call the science type 2. And in the last, you have to put things in use to make them handy for tools. So that's engineering, embodiment, empowerment. What we do with what we know. So with this new framework, I think I promote to use this SCI works in focus on this learning period. See, this is the 4 phases of the learning competency. And you start from awareness, you start from asking why should I learn this stuff? And once you pass this stage, you get into a cognitive domain. That is to understand what is in the field. What should I learn? So SCI contribute to this area. And after we build up knowledge here, competency here, then it influences our behavior domain, and we can start using the applications developed from the previous. Okay, so in the last so-called mastery, we reach to the master status of using the knowledge. So rethink about the 3 idea or three direction. System is more or less focused on what are relevant components or elements in our complex situation we face. And cybernetics is focused on how these components or elements interact with each other. I mean, what type of a feedback or circular causality is going on there, and the procedure dimension is pushed by cybernetics, in my view. And informatics dimension is how these interactions are quantitatively measured. So both of you developed something similar to another classic quantitative measure, which is Aspe's law. Aspe's law of requisite variety. Now Joe has this law of requisite ethics or requisite virtue, or what do you call it? Your problem is how do you measure it? So here, and also Arendt, the equation you put minus and the plus, manipulate the mass and the energy and the information and the reality. Now, the question is how do you measure the unit? I mean, how is the unit work in those equations? That is something we need to get further discussion. But coming back to this Trinity idea, I promote to you this fantastic church in Barcelona. They have, I think a lot of people knows it already. It's supposed to be accomplished next year after more than, I think, 140 years development. Gaudi's Santa Familia, San Grola. My Spanish is too bad, but the point is this church has three doors, the three entrances. They call facades because they do the decoration. They put a story on each door. So this is the same building with three different entrances, with three different approach into the same building. So it brought this idea to the topic we talk about today. It's this metaphor, using this as a metaphor for the totality of complexity science. So these three things can be unified together. Or we as a researcher, we can look at all three things instead of just digging out one hole, one silo. Okay, so for the Sagrada Familia Church, they have a nativity facade, right? Who can pronounce that word for me? And you have a patient face and a glorious face, which representing three. This representing birth of Jesus Christ, the passion of Jesus Christ, and the value of Jesus Christ, and the glory of Jesus Christ. And I sort of map them roughly into what you guys talking about here: matter, energy, information. See, they are all actually related inside, but you can always see from this particular dimension to get more detail on this dimension. So in my framework, I call this four-dimension system thinking. You have three basic dimensions: structure, procedure, and the culture. And then among those three working together, you have a fourth dimension, which is emergence, self-organized over time. So you need time. Once you have these three things identified, then you know as time goes by, the fourth dimension emerge or not emerge. If there's emergence, that means that there are some stable eigenvalue can be formed. If there is no image, and then it will be in the chaos situation. So three theories, three areas focused on space, time, entropy. Now, none of them can really make sense without mentioning the other two. That's my point today. And you guys already mentioned that. Aaron mentioned that without information, that's nothing. And so the point is each of them all needs the other two. So they are the same building, I mean, same body of knowledge. My Robert AI didn't agree with me, but in the end, I sent you some research paper by Robert yesterday. If you look at that, the three summaries of this three field and the comparative of the three. And in the end, the Robert also agreed that use a building with three entrance doors is a very good analogy, at least for educational purposes. It will help our students. So a little bit more detail. I'm running out of my time. Viewing any system from the four-dimensional system thinking point of view is like how doctors examine a patient. So you have on the structural dimension, you have your X-rays, you have your CT, MRI, etc., to see the exact structure of your body. And in the procedure dimension, you measure your heartbeat, breathing rate, blood pressure, etc. All this kind of measurement, measuring the if what's going on inside your body is smooth or not, are they correct or not, standard or not. Now, in cultural dimension, for a doctor, it is a long list of those lab reports from your blood, from your urine test, and they identify the specifics inside and telling you what's standard, what's regular, what's irregular, what's the signal of disease. So the fourth self-organized dimension is the predictions or observations on the developmental pathway of patient's health situation. Are you going to recover quickly, or are you going to die? You have 3 months to live, things like that. So that's the three dimension. So coming back to the last slide is for our Oxford project, several of our members involving. So instead of just doing a cybernetics 101, we actually do a SCI 101 for a student, a project for this for student, bringing them knowledges about systemics, cybernetics, informatics all together. So another slogan would be curious minds unite and learn. So that's my presentation. So now we can start the questioning and discussion process. I think we will ask our Ego first, Ram second, and Lauren. You three guys speak first.
Okay. First, thank everybody for really interesting presentations. I will then go and try to elaborate why I think they are really helpful. But first, a proposal for Jason. Can you just show the last slide? One of CCI